It must be 2 o'clock, so let's go. All right, we're talking accounting, cloud accounting. It's always fun to go through the numbers on things. It's like get 42 reminders that I should be talking, just popping off in the background. Awesome. All right, cloud accounting. First, look, a bit of homework, well, a bit of housework first, sorry. For those of you who are sort of just tuning in new, you're watching this at home, my name's Kelby, I'm from Business Station. Okay, we deliver the federal government's digital solutions package here in Queensland, WA and Northern Territory. That's it. Oops, that logo there. Sorry, I'm running on 2 screens here, guys, so if I look off to the right, I'm just making sure I stay on track, okay? These guys over here, they fund this. All right, this is their money we're spending, and hopefully we're spending it really well. Okay, it's a government program. It's sort of like Medicare for small business. It is a brilliant program. If you're now joined in and signed up for our 7 hours for $44 package, awesome. If you haven't, do it. You get tons of mentoring, some coaching, some webinars and workshops to help you get a little bit more sustainable, a little better, a little sharper in business. And hopefully I can add my 5 cents worth here today and give you a bit of value. That'd be very cool. Anyway, there we go. Housework done. Accounting, the cloud, and you. All right, well, the good old days aren't. Right? When you used to buy an accounting package, load it onto your computer, set all your chart of accounts up, and start entering transactions and then export files to your accountant and get them to do quarterly BAS for you or monthly, or your bookkeeper, and then take a whole lot of files off to your accountant at the end of the year and they'll do your tax for you. That's been gone for years. What we do now, we load, sorry, with one exception. One exception. I'll get to that in a sec, whatever. Now, obviously, you're using cloud accounting. Okay, the software is not on your computer. It's simply you log into a portal. All the data's offsite. It's all there in the cloud, which is really just a bunch of Linux servers on somebody else's dime, pretty much. And you just process everything there. So you can access your data no matter where you are. Your accountant can access your data, so can your bookkeeper, so that you're not transporting files everywhere. And theoretically, your reporting is accurate, timely, reliable, and helps you make data-driven decisions. I'm going to hear that phrase. It is a favorite of mine because instincts are great. Okay, there's nothing wrong with instincts. You develop them over time, and that gives you the emotion that drives business. It helps you sense when you're going in the right way. But when you make a decision, make sure you've got the numbers behind you so that it makes sense. Okay, and dollars would kind of help too. So yeah, what we're going to do today in the next, I don't know, probably 40, 45 minutes, something like that, is we are going to roll through 4 of the larger, more popular cloud accounting programs, okay, or packages, and have a look at a few of the others. It's a brief look, talk about kind of what they do, the things that make them different, okay, because fundamentally, and here's the thing, fundamentally, it's double entry accounting. Like, honestly, it is what it is. Okay, the programs all do the same thing. They generate pretty much the same accounting information. And my glamorous assistant just brought me a cup of tea. Oh, love your work, girl. Thank you very much. I've got it. Beautiful. Love that. Oh, service with a smile. So yeah, double entry accounting. They all do the same thing. You get profit and loss, you get balance sheet, you get age debtors and creditors, you get inventory reports, you got payroll. They package those things up a little differently between each platform. Okay, you pay differently depending on how many users you've got, how many staff you've got. Do you want inventory? Do you not want inventory? Yeah, it's really variations on a theme. Okay, and that's really what we're looking at today, is those little differences. Okay, one app does one thing, somebody else's app does something else. Somebody needs 2 apps to do what everybody else does with one app. You know, that sort of stuff. That's what we're going to go through today. Okay, when it comes to recommendations about accounting systems and packages, okay, here's the 3 things. All right, are you looking for your first? Do you want to upgrade, or do you simply want more data than you get every quarter from your bookkeeper or your accountant? Okay, scribble those questions down, because they're what's going to drive your, there'll be 3 of the 4 things that drive your decision in terms of which system you sign up for. Okay, now here's what we're looking at. Okay, the big 3 in a ring. Now the big 3, obviously, Xero, QuickBooks, MyOb. Okay, MyOb has been around for ages. Okay, QuickBooks was sold here by Reckon. Then Intuit, which is the parent company in the US, decided they want to build their own cloud-based solution. So Reckon very quickly lost their license Reckon now actually do their own under their own brand. With Xero, the New Zealand upstart, one of the first cloud accounting systems, very much tied in with accountants. They do road shows. They do a lot of stuff for their clients. They're pretty cool. Okay, they're in there as well. And SaaSU, cheeky little Australian upstart, thousands of customers. I've put it in there because, okay, I've actually had free trials of all these. I've played with them. I've had a look at them. And that's there for a reason. Okay, and we'll get to that later. There's some alternatives, right? FreshBooks, Sage, Zoho Books, and Reckon. They all have their pluses and minuses, and it's very much horses for courses. There's also, okay, just slow down and talk for a second. There are a ton of options. Okay, you've got free options like Wave. You've got Peach Accounting that a mate of mine who has a wholesale business uses. I've never seen anybody else use it, but he's happy with it, so who cares? He's got very good inventory and he needs it because he has a ton of stuff, industrial supplies, bits and pieces everywhere. He needs the inventory. Peach does it really well. He's happy. Excellent. He's paying for it, but he's happy. Okay. So yes, there's just a few of them. We could literally make a 14-day workshop out of accounting systems, but we won't. Right. So here's the key thoughts. Hang on, just come back 2 slides for a sec. Remember the 3 questions. Okay. Your first accounting package, is it? Do you want to upgrade? Do you simply want more data? Then we come to here. What does your accountant or your bookkeeper use? Okay. Use that. Like honestly, so we'll get in the webinar right now. Okay, if your accountant uses Xero, then just use Xero because it's going to make your life so much easier when you've got a system that talks with your accountants, and when there's dramas, you can bring your accountant up and yell at them because it was their idea in the first place. If your bookkeeper uses QuickBooks, then, okay, learn that, use that, because that'll make your BAS so much simpler. When you want to get reports out of it, you can simply go to your bookkeeper and say, this is what you've got to provide as well every month or every quarter so that we know exactly where we're at. Or because they use the system all the time, get them to teach you how to produce the reports that you want so you are on top of the business from a numbers point of view. Okay, it makes life a bit easier. If they use a system, I'm going to be careful here. If they use a system that you simply don't get, simply don't understand, this, that doesn't make sense to you, the way it wants you to process transactions and the way it wants you to extract data, then you could always change accountants or bookkeepers, but that's a bit radical. Or you could use a different system entirely and just make sure that you get one that you are comfortable with that also integrates with theirs so they can simply take the file across. It's a little bit of fiddly work, but it is a long way from the end of the world. Okay, so as I said before, there are free trials, so try some. Okay, if they say, look, your accountant uses Xero, great, get a 30-day free trial of Xero. See how you go with it. Does it actually talk to you the way you understand? If it does, happy days. Okay, you've got that nice seamless integration. If it doesn't, okay, try a few of the others. Find one that works and simply import the data across. And here's actually a very interesting question. Okay, how big is your business going to be in 5 years or in 3 years? Okay, 5 was a bit random, but you think about it, 2 or 3 years time, how big are you going to be? What are you aiming at? How aggressive are you? How ambitious are you? All right, what do you want to be? Because, the reason I say this is that when you put an accounting system in now that you're comfortable with, your bookkeeper likes it, your staff like it works, it hums, happy days. But in 5 years' time, you're going to have 3 times the staff. You're going to have inventory falling off shelves because you're going to have sales going out the door and you're struggling to keep up. How much is that accounting system going to cost you? In fact, can it even cope with a business of that size? Okay, what happens when you start tacking on extra staff? What happens to your cost base when you start adding a decent inventory system to it? Okay, and I say decent deliberately because the fact that an accounting system has an inventory function doesn't mean that it's intuitive or that it even talks to your POS, although they mostly do, but it may not be quite straightforward. It doesn't. There could be a whole lot of reasons why you want to have a add-in fill or an integration for your inventory. So have a think about that, all right? And when you're doing your trials and you're looking at the way they're priced up, because price is a factor, okay? This is, in a way, this is an investment in your business because it stops you doing manual books and it gives you quality data so you can make data-driven decisions. But mainly it's a cost, okay? Because you kind of got to have it so it's a cost. So just think about where that cost is going to go. I'll actually talk about that a fair bit down the track with CRMs in a couple of days, because it's particularly with CRMs, but with SaaS in general. Once you start growing your business, suddenly your costs can tick up significantly, and that can be a wee bit irritating. So, cost. Also think about support. Okay, where are their support centers located? SaaSU, they're Australian. Xero, I'm pretty sure they've got some here, some overseas. QuickBooks, US based, support is overseas. MyOb, US based, support is overseas. What does it mean in terms of timing, in terms of language barriers? I mean, indeed, are they based in the Philippines, or are they based in the US, or are they based in India? Are they based in Adelaide? Okay, there's a language barrier all of its own. Think about it. Okay, it's only a small thing, but it's a thing. Okay, and I can say this from personal experience. Right, we'll just talk about one thing. Just for 1 sec, I'll get a little bit product specific here. Support. Now, I actually have MyOb here. All right, and I'm one of the few people left in the country who actually owns the software. It's not a SaaS. We actually bought it. And it's kind of funny because with MyOb, they're not cloud-based. You got to load the software on your computer. Ridiculous, but there you go. Their support is actually pretty good. Okay, it's actually pretty good. They're there to talk to during the day. I think they're based in Melbourne, although I could be very wrong about that, but that's the impression I got. We had to sort out an issue the other day with a company file. It took maybe 7 minutes, 10 minutes tops, maybe 4 or 5 minutes of that was sitting on hold. But then it was bada bing, bada boom, boom, all sorted, done and dusted. Thank you very much. Very pleasant to deal with and all over. Okay, so think about support. It's important. And integrations. This is increasingly important in business. Okay, it used to be you just had an accounting system and you entered your invoices, entered your receipts, entered in your purchase orders, blah, 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 all done, and it spat out the data at the end of the month. Okay, you put your payroll and spat out the data at the end of the month, paid everybody. It's not so simple now because you've got e-commerce systems sitting on your countertop. You've got POS sitting on your website. You've got a Facebook store. You've got an eBay store, and one of your family sells a few bits and pieces through Etsy through the business. Happy days. So you've got that to cope with as well. How do all those systems talk together so that you can automate as much of your accounting as possible? Okay, you want a special inventory system. Okay, you want your accounting to talk to your CRM. Okay, that sounds kind of weird, but it's actually a pretty good thing. Who does that? Well, funny enough, just about everybody. But when you're looking at your accounting system, when you're thinking about, hey, where are we going with this thing? Okay, what do we need it? What do we really need it to do? Okay, think about the integration side of it. Go through basically the shop of integrations. Okay, where they're all stacked up, ready to have free or to buy, and figure out what exactly it is that you need to do and how much is it going to cost, and then sit down and compare apples to oranges to pears, and decide if you're going to have fruit salad or just settle down for a baked potato. All right, take your time, sort it out because they're all there. Now, this is, as you can see, about a month or so out of date, but the base price doesn't change that much that often. Please note, there are always, come back. There are always deals available. You know, you get 3 or 6 months for half price, always there. Okay, and as I said before, there's free trials. There's a ton of them. Everything has a free trial, 30 days usually. And here's the very cool thing, is that Xero will import the data file from MyOb and QuickBooks and vice versa. And they all so you can actually do a trial of Xero, import the data into MyOb, do a trial of MyOb, import the data into QuickBooks, do a trial of QuickBooks, import it into SaaSU, and you can simply daisy chain them. So you can spend 6 months on 6 different accounting systems, getting a feel for them, understanding how they talk to you, okay, what you have to do, which button you've got to push to make it jump through the hoop you want it to jump through and give you the data you want, timely and accurate. So do it, trial them, okay? Even coming right back to the start where I said, hey, listen, what does your accountant use that? Which bookkeeper use? Yeah, cool, okay. But don't forget to trial the other systems before you take that big leap, because the data tends to integrate. So yes, it is simpler to use what your accountant uses, and yes, it is simpler to use what your bookkeeper uses. But if you're not comfortable with them, trial them, because look at the pricing. Okay. Now I put in from because with these things, they use like a differential pricing model. You have one more user, the price goes up. You have a couple more staff, the price goes up. You want it in pink, the price goes up. Okay, so from 54 a month, which only includes only 2 staff. You want more staff, costs more, but that includes inventory. However, I'll get to it a bit later, 0 inventory, not that flash. Mild, standard plus inventory is 120, but you have as many staff as you want. Okay, now I've used that without the inventory since 2006. We started with the QuickBooks, like the old version under Reckon, the original QuickBooks, didn't like it, and swapped a month later into Mild. And, you know, the bookkeeper's happy with that. So, okay, we roll with that. I'm not a huge fan. And if we're forced to go to SaaS, then I will sit down and make some pretty hard decisions. But yeah, QuickBooks, $52 a month and $5 per employee. So it's a little bit cheaper than 0 until you have a couple of employees, and then it's a little bit more than 0, but nowhere near what Mild charges if you want inventory. Okay. Tell you what I will do is I'll check the inventory. Hold tight there for a second. Okay. I have some technology here in front of me. It's called a laptop. What I'll do, while I've got you sitting there as a captive audience, I'm actually going to check on the price for Mild without inventory. Now, bear with me. Okay. Mild plans and pricing. See, here's the thing. That 120 is the cheapest for Account Right Plus that includes payroll. Now, I thought, funnily enough, that they had a cheaper version. So I was sure they did. Bear with me for a second. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've just got it here. They're not exactly being easy to find. They do have, sorry, my mistake. Yeah, if you want inventory, you've got to pay that 120 a month. If you don't want inventory, then you're looking at 50 a month. They've got it at half price, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last for, as always. And that does, payroll is optional, $1.50 per person per month. So that would be, say, 2 staff. So we're comparing apples with apples. That would be $3 for staff. So that'd be $53. So funnily enough, it's all the same, except it doesn't have inventory, whereas Xero and QuickBooks have inventory. Go figure. Okay, so that's what I was saying before, when you're comparing them, just be aware that you're comparing apples to oranges to pears, and you might end up with a baked potato because the fruit just doesn't quite fit what you're after. Right. And then you've got SaaSU, which is 40 per month, including 20 staff. That is inventory. But SaaSU's pricing, here we go again, is based on transactions, as in the number of transactions you download from the bank, the number of payments you make, the number of payments you take in, your payroll. However, that $40 per month that I've got there, including 20 staff, that transaction level is most micro and small businesses. Okay, you would be doing enormously well. I'll tell you what, if you go over the $40 a month, the increase isn't going to be an issue because you've got so much going through your business. That's nothing, honestly. Okay, I'm not being glib about that. It's just the increase is not that big, and that is nothing. So there we go. So there's the cost for basically the big 4 on my little ring in. Much of a muchness until you start looking at what they deliver, and suddenly you've got 2 that kind of match up. If we're going to get really cute, actually, while we're doing that, and I do actually have a minute, so let's just indulge ourselves here. Xero price, oops, That wasn't what I wanted. Standard is 54 per month. That's what I've got quoted there. It's got all that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at staffing on that, please. Okay. All right, they have, of course they do. They have different pricing. So they don't, so they go 5, 10, 15. And you would think they'd be really cute and put a price in here. Is it hiding? No, it's not. Just says buy. It doesn't actually tell you what you're paying for. Now that's not very nice. Xero, what are you doing? No, they are honestly buried the cost of their payroll. That's sketchy, guys. Like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, anyway, moving on. Moving on. Now, this is a bit of fun to think about. Okay, well, we're going through all this, and we've just had 5 minutes of me struggling around and showing you just how hard it is to compare the pricing of these products. That was actually fundamentally ridiculous, to be honest. That should have been a simple process, and it wasn't. Bring me back to 1980. Like, seriously, what's going on? All right. Ease of use, cash flow, projections and budgets, and app functionality. You can add to that if you wish, ease of finding pricing. That's something to think about. But things like how good's their inventory, like how specific, something specific to your business. Okay, my business, I don't use inventory, but for me, app functionality is important, as is the cash flow and projection side of it, and the ease of use, because I actually hate accounting systems. I would rather do anything but do bookkeeping, even though it's kind of what I do, which is bizarre. Okay, so they're the big three. All right, so ease of use. Now, in my experience, Xero and SaaSU are the easier to use than Mild and QuickBooks, but that's just because of the way I think and look at things. You may find it entirely different. I know people who hate Xero and love QuickBooks. Cool. Okay, they're happy to get accurate data. I am a happy little camper because that's the name of the game. All right, that's a big thing to think about. Okay, it's this question here, top right. Okay, over there, top right. Okay, does it give you the data that you want easily? Okay, that's a big consideration. All right, you can make sure that you know how to put it in there, but once you've done that, for God's sake, make sure you know how to get it out. All right. Cash flow budgets and projections. They all have cash flow budget and projection tools. Some of them go out for 3 years. Some of them have a degree of customization where you can put in projections for expenses and projections for income. However, I make this observation. When it comes to doing a cash flow budget, especially budget against actual comparisons, and have budget projections which allow you to put in variables so that you can increase one part of your P&L and see how that flows through, because in a lot of cases they're connected. Advertising spend drives revenue, which drives vehicle usage, or vehicle usage drives revenue, which drives maintenance. So when you move one thing, other things move with it. Your accounting system isn't really going to do that. It's something like Excel, my old mate, or Google Sheets, my not so matey mate. They will do that for you. And accounting systems will talk to it. So you can extract data, have it live, accurate information, data-driven decisions. Happy days, people. Okay. But in the first instance, you need to have a look at how that works within the accounting system, because that's your first go-to. App functionality. What do they do? How easily do they do it? Let's come over here for a second. Apps with cute tricks. Just give me a sec. I've got some notes here that I really should refer to. Because I wrote a few things down about their apps. That's the reason I'm doing that. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to find where I put those notes. Okay, so before I even find the notes, I'll tell you one thing. Okay, Xero and QuickBooks and SASU and most of the others have an app which will allow you to make payments and basically send invoices on the spot. Okay, no dramas, easy peasy. Now, MyOb, God bless them, have two apps, one for payments and one for invoicing. Why? MyOb, why do you do this? Why can't you just put it on one app? One app. I don't get it. I fundamentally don't understand why they did that. And they've never rung me up to tell me, so bizarre. Here's a very cute thing, though. I'm just trying to find my notes on it, which from exactly which one did it. Apps. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Without even need to look at my notes, Xero app is easy to use. SASU app, easy to use. QuickBooks app, easy to use. MyOb apps, plural, easy to use. Okay. They are actually nice to use. Nice and straightforward. Okay. Here's a very cute thing. QuickBooks app has a logbook or a mileage function, a business trip function. You put your vehicle details into the app. So when you go to, or your salespeople or whoever does driving in the company car, you put the car details in the app. When you just tell them, when you go for a drive, go to the app, click on the logbook function, start the business trip. It logs the trip for you. Oh, how easy is that? Your accountant and the tax office are cheering in the background. Okay, makes life very simple. Very cute feature. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, now let's come back on one thing. Actually, no, I'll cover that off. That's cool. So yeah, there's the cute tricks. Okay, that's the cutest trick of all is that. But they're all intuitive. All the apps are great. So don't stress so much about that. Just have a look for things like the logbook function because that may be the one thing that you really love, and that switches you that way. So check it out. Okay, check it out. Now, moving, as the dairy farmer said, right along. There we go. Okay. Now, let's have a quick chat about the other four that I had listed up the front there. Okay. Now, Sage. Sage actually has a very nice user interface. Okay. It's got great dashboards. They've all actually got pretty good dashboards and they're customizable. So when you first log into the system, you get to see what you want to see. Okay. Straight up, bang. That might be all you need. Just an overview. Snapshot, done, turn it off, get on with your day. Okay. Sage, as good as the others. Very nice. It's pricey if you want to expand it or you want to add payroll. Okay. And by pricey, I mean the other ones kill it. Okay. And the bank feed system is clunky and it costs extra dollars too. Fundamentally, with all due respect to those who use Sage, including some of my mates with accounting firms, guys, I mean, and they know it. I hate Sage. They're not really fans, but they like it because it's stable or something bizarre. Okay, but from a small business point of view, you, me, our type of businesses, I don't like Sage, right? For those reasons, it's going to start costing you money when you can get the same functionality, as good, if not better, user experience for less. Okay, so kind of go with the others. FreshBooks, okay, limited functionality if you just want the micro version. However, that may suit you very nicely. Okay, it just depends on what you're looking for. It's not really a business to business option. So if you're dealing in that B2B market, I would look elsewhere. Okay, it simply doesn't have the functionality, the muscle, the intellectual capacity, if you like, of the other four that we've mentioned. Just not there. And it has no automatic BAS that I could find, and I trialed it for 30 days. No automatic BAS. Who does that? Like, what's that about? Right, Reckon, which is the guys who used to have QuickBooks and now finally developed their own cloud accounting. Inventory is a third-party add-on. Now, I know, oops, come back a page. There we go. I know we're talking with Xero about the fact that Xero's inventory is its weak point, okay? But there is a stack of add-ins that you can have that fix that. Reckon doesn't even have inventory to be a weak point, okay? So it's not as if you want to try it and you might have to pay for extra, but you might not have to. You just got no choice. And it requires some setup. It's not as intuitive as the others, and there's some of the features are hidden, like the ability to do quotes. Why? Why would you do that? I don't understand it, but it is cheaper. Okay, there is that. Okay, it's a bit cheaper than the others, not quite as cute to use, but again, may very well do the job. Try it out. I'm a fan of not having hidden features and of not having to pay a gazillion dollars extra for something as simple as inventory. I think that should be integral to any accounting system. So not really a fan of Reckon when I can have good, solid interface, great functionality, all in one spot. Don't need add-ins. Don't need to dig stuff up. It's not hidden like that. Who's got time for that? In one of the other four. Okay. Zoho Books, limited automation, limited functionality. However, if you're using Zoho CRM and you're in that Zoho universe, it is actually a good option. Okay, because it talks to everything. It's all integrated. It's going to automate a lot of stuff from that side of things. Okay, in terms of nice, smooth, hassle-free integration of data, and it's not a terrible option. Not terribly expensive. Okay, cost is sort of thereabouts with the others. So if you're in the Zoho universe, by all means, put it on your shopping list. Have a look, try it, see how you go. On the flip side, the others will also integrate if you've got to export data. So you see where I'm going with this? Okay, here we go. Think about it. Free trials are your friend. Okay, they really are. If you can get on there and try it out for 30 days for nothing, why don't you? Why not? Put the data in, export it to another one. The reason we're doing this and trialing it for free is because we're actually going to make a purchase. We're actually going to integrate a platform into our business that's going to do our accounting for us. So try it for nothing, see how it goes, and then do another one. Port the data across. Integration is simple. Each time, roll it across until you find one where you go, oh, hey, I like this. This is easy to use. I understand it. Because there's no point, oh my goodness, there's absolutely no point in having an accounting system if you don't want to use it. It's difficult to use, so it's irritating. You're not sure if the data's accurate because it's hard to use and you don't want to use it. And when it comes to getting reports out, that's a pain. Nobody wants that, okay? And it's actually counterintuitive. It's bad business. Okay, so free trials. Second point, think carefully about your growth because that will impact on your cost as your functionality needs increase. We saw that in the pricing. Okay, you get a couple of payroll for free, or you're paying $5 a person, or it's only $50 a month until you're on inventory, and then it comes $120 a month. Okay, think about your growth. It is a key consideration. SaaS the same, okay? It's $40 until your transaction level jumps over a couple of thousand a month, and then suddenly that's 100 and something a month, 108 or something, okay? Thirdly, how mobile do you need to be? MyOb has 2 apps. Who cares if you don't use them on the road? If you don't need the apps, that's not an issue. But if you are mobile and you've got people on the road who need to be able to issue invoices when they're with clients, or you'd like to be able to pay people while you're out on the road and have that recorded in your accounting system while you're there in front of them, then you've got to look at the apps and think about functionality. Again, smooth use. Is it easy? Is it not? Now, come to that in a second. Let's just talk about this one more moment. I guess after sort of sitting here and ranting and raving for half an hour or so about accounting systems, you kind of need to know where I stand, I suppose. Maybe you don't care. But for those of you who have got a vague interest in which one I might recommend, firstly, it's very much how long is a piece of string, because every business is individual and it comes down to how you interact with the system. How intuitive is it for you? Because as I said, I like Xero and I like SaaSU. To me, they're smooth, nice to use. We use I can use that. I've learned how to use that, no dramas. QuickBooks I'm not a fan of. But then we've got people in our little circle, in our world, who love QuickBooks. Okay, they're weird. That's cool. Works for them. Who cares? My general recommendation is trial Xero first, then trial SaaSU, and then go make a cup of coffee and think about it. Because if I was going to go to cloud accounting, which I will be doing soon because my sooner or later going to turn, I think we've got about a year left of our current one. They'll turn it off sooner or later. We'll get no support and it'll just collapse. If and when I go to cloud accounting, they're the two I'm looking at. And then it's going to be very much a case of, let's see where they're at now. Let's have a look at their pricing and let's see how smooth and easy they are to use. Okay, so that's where I stand on those, noting that it's very much a case of individual businesses pick different accounting systems for different reasons. Okay, so the package, for those of you who are watching this and aren't part of the deal, okay, they haven't got this package, this is what Digital Solutions is all about now. Okay, we're a 7-hour package of business mentorship. It's like a curated, bespoke training package for you. We'll give you one-on-one training, webinars, workshops, and we'll work on some specific digital areas in your business, get you up to speed, increase your confidence and your competence so that you're basically more sustainable. You're making more money, you can do more things, have better tricks in the business, okay? And expert advice is covering everything digital. That's pretty much it. That's us. Okay, we have 10, 17, 18, 20 on the books, 20 advisors all around Queensland, WA, and the Northern Territory. We also have 40, oh my goodness, 45, 47 other specialists who are part of our panel. And they include people who are Facebook partners, who are PR experts that work for football, national football clubs. I don't use that phrase lightly. Okay, they're experts. They really know what they're doing. And you get access to pick their brains for $44. Cool bananas. All right, the end. Happily, I hear you, big sigh of relief. Look, there's my contact details. If you're watching this, if you're watching the recording, okay, and I know there are some people who are watching the recording, send me, you got questions, is there anything you want to kick around, send me an email, okay? Shoot me a phone call. Happy days. I'll answer your questions. We can have a chat and we can see where you're at and we can map out an approach for you that makes your business better, that makes your life better. Because that's the whole point of this, is to make running the business, the actual being in there, hands-on running the business, the least of your issues. All right, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, I want to make that smooth, I want to make it drama-free, so you can actually go out there and do what you do really well and grow your business. Right? That's the whole point of the exercise. So thank you for tuning in. All right, we're going to put this little thing to sleep now. There we go, it can go away. All right, we're back. All right, as I said, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your company. Okay, I hope I've added some value and given you some things to think about, a different way of looking at things. Okay, when it comes to picking your accounting system, when you're looking at getting accurate, timely data, so the decisions you make are backed by the numbers and supported by the reality of where you're at. If I can help you do that a little better, I'm a happy, happy man. So anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you again with one of my other webinars, and that will be us for tonight. Thank you.